Eating Soup Alone is a podcast hosted by me, Christopher Crumley, and co-hosted by Nicholas Johnson. We try our best to ramble incoherently about a handful of movies at least once a week.
Okay, I was doing a cold open. All right, anyways.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I thought I was just having a nice conversation with my friend. Go ahead.
Okay,
Do your
all right, anyways.
content.
Hey, movie news, ready?
Yeah.
Did you hear who... I heard that Matthew Lillard was perhaps cast in a specific movie, perhaps. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah, and Superman 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any speculation on what role?
I heard someone say something, but I forgot about it immediately, so I don't know. Something.
What are you picturing?
Shaggy.
Well, other news, not movie, but kind of movie related. I already did the bit. October 15th, they're doing the Crystal Lake show is finally coming out on Peacock with Linda Cardellini, and it's A24 and blah, 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 blah. I talk about it all the time. So,
Are you excited about it?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Gonna have to work it into our, usual. We have no word. Do we have a name for it? Whatever we do on Halloween when we watch a whole series of.
No, I think we just call it Halloween.
Okay. So we have to work it into our Halloween somehow.
I think we can do that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. What about this? This is a crazy idea. It's a terrible idea.
Can't wait.
Such a bad idea. We could watch every episode of the Friday the 13th, the short-lived Friday the 13th TV show.
We could.
And talk about some of our favorites and some of our least favorites and stuff. And then we can talk about whatever episodes get released of the new show also.
I don't hate that idea.
Okay. Anyways, we watched some actual movies that aren't those. That's movie news. The Matthew Lillard thing and the Friday the 13th thing. I mean, what else could be going on in the world of movies that matters, right?
Now it's time for movie olds.
Movie olds. Old-ass movies that came out so long ago. Who could even remember these films? We watched one per your request.
Yes.
Which was?
Godzilla Minus One. Watched
one per my request, which was?
Godzilla.
1984.
Period. 1954.
Yeah, full stop. Give me some background. Why?
Godzilla is just like kaiju monsters in general.
You don't have to describe what a Godzilla is. I'm curious why you wanted to watch
it. They're just something that I've always been interested in. But yeah. I'm like, I know I'm gonna, if I get into this, I'm gonna get into it. Yeah. And that's always like scared me a little bit. Like,
do I really want to be that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or it's just like a lot to live up to, I guess. Like I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Like every time I see a clip from it or something like that, I'm like, that's my favorite show. Yeah. I know it is, and so I'm just afraid to get to it because I'm like, it's just that's a lot of pressure I put on myself already.
What's gonna be after that? Once I watch that, what's the point of anything?
So I don't know what it was, but I was just in the mood a couple weeks ago. I was like, I'm gonna make Godzilla Minus One the movie for the show, so I have to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm glad I did.
You are?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What about how'd you feel about Godzilla Minus One?
Well, similar situation, but different. I've never really considered myself a Godzilla man.
Mm-hmm.
Too much, didn't ask, or whatever. Cinemassacre, right?
Mm-hmm.
James Ralph, angry video game nerd. So when I was growing up, I was very into the the Monster Madness, right? And he fucking loves Godzillas.
Yeah.
And there's one year where it was just Godzilla-thon. It's 31 days of just talking about freaking Godzilla. I always skip that shit.
Are there 31 Godzillas? That makes I think that makes sense.
Google how many Godzillas.
Okay, I'll do it.
Have you seen Godzilla's son?
Yeah. Back in the day in like elementary school, I had a friend who had all of them, and him and his brother would watch all the shitty ones all the time.
Yeah. There's Mothra, Megalon, Mechagodzilla, Ghidorah.
There are 35. There are 35 Godzilla movies.
How about it? So anyways, I always had like a vague interest because I was like, maybe it's something I could get into, but it doesn't really appeal to me. When I started watching Godzilla Minus One, I was kind of thinking like, it's almost like the stuff that I like a lot, like the slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like that. You're watching like a normal film, and then every now and again, he comes along to fuck shit up, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, when I'm watching a horror movie. You're getting sucked into like, oh, Laurie Strode and her friends, and they're babysitting, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, someone got stabbed.
Yeah,
it's the same kind of thing, right? So Godzilla Minus One, friend of the show, Drew Yonkers, she came over, and we had like a movie night months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of like chit chatting and stuff. I wasn't really fully paying attention. But what I saw, I liked, and I do like Godzilla Minus One. Again, I'm not like batshit goo goo gaga about Godzilla's,
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I did like the original more, which we can talk about more when we talk about it later.
Oh yeah.
But I would say primarily just because, for me with that first one, it's much more like potent. The like direct inspiration of like the bomb just got dropped, the bomb is bad, and that's what this movie is about. And you can just feel it, more for me in that one.
Do you want to talk about that one first? I feel like that makes more sense to talk about. To kind of
I
talk
watched
about,
them out of order though.
So did I. But I think it would.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to talk about them in
Sure.
tandem, or at the very least talk about the 50s one first.
So in 1954, so folks made a film. I don't know any names attached to this.
It was directed by
Go for it.
Shiro Honda, screenplay by Taiko Murata and
you
Shiro
bit this.
Honda.
Yeah.
It had a budget of $900,000 and made 2.5 million United States dollars.
Yeah. Well, here's something interesting. Let's start with 1933. King Kong comes out, which is a movie I'd love to watch. Actually, I would like to watch it. I watched Peter Jackson's when I was a younger man, but it was enjoyable. Anyway, so King Kong comes out. Fun fact: they're pretty sure, you can look this up, that there was actually like a Japanese King Kong that came out like in the 30s, but it's a lost film. The only thing that exists is like a poster for it, and people are like, I think they fucking made a movie for this.
I remember hearing somewhere, this is kind of related to two things that you just said, but the original original King Kong, forever there was just a scene missing from it that nobody could find or restore, and Peter Jackson, before making King Kong,
scene or something,
just like remade it. So
to the best of his ability, yeah. Because that's, again, we're opening Pandora's box by talking about that thing. But, with a lot of these films, I'm sure this is true for Godzilla too. I don't know. But, when you're talking about a film from the 30s or the 20s or the 1910s or whatever, the idea of like DVD extras, you know what I mean? That's the only reason why like behind the scenes interviews or like commentary tracks exist, right? So like that wasn't a thing then. So they didn't document how they pulled off anything, right? So that's what Peter Jackson's point of doing that was just like, how the fuck did they pull this off in 1933? And like, much like the argument for like, how do they build the pyramids? We would struggle even today, which is not necessarily true. It's just, we've like optimized how to make things a specific way, because why the fuck would we don't want to make pyramids. If we had to figure out how to make pyramids, I'm sure we'd have a fine time doing it. But whatever. So we'll move away from a moment. That is remarkable that Peter Jackson did that, though. That's a good fact to add to the show.
Thank you.
You made a better show by bringing that up.
Hey, thank you.
So King Kong comes out. From my understanding, again, who the fuck am I but a guy wearing a fucking button-up t-shirt right now? But so I guess Japan loved the concept. Then the bomb happens. Japan, not a fan of that. Me too. If I was around, I'd be like, hey, that wasn't awesome. Didn't like that one.
It'd be very, very brave of you.
Right. So they write the King Kong, not the King Kong, the Godzilla film. Originally, according to Wikipedia, you can look at this probably. It says they were originally going to make him a giant octopus. You're going to make him a giant octopus.
That'd been sick.
Yeah, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, you can't put a guy in like an octopus costume, so it makes sense.
Glad they didn't. I also feel like it wouldn't be as memorable and like distinctive and iconic. It'd be just kind of generic and bland if it was a giant squid, So, and another thing that happened just before this film, I guess, this is something I read off Wikipedia, shoot me with a gun if you'd like, please don't actually, I guess the U.S. were testing nuclear bombs at sea, and some of the fucking like debris fallout like landed on a Japanese fucking like ship or something. and a bunch of like Japanese folks got like sick, and like one guy died from radiation exposure. So it was really top of mind for Japanese folks, and so apparently that influenced the opening scene where like a destroyer gets destroyed or whatever, or a ship, whatever the fuck gets destroyed, whatever it is, military ship.
Yeah.
I've been going on and on for a long time, but I haven't even asked you, Godzilla, OG, anything you want to just give me some.
I was like, when you suggested it, I was like, okay, yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
I was kind of putting it off.
Yeah.
And I ended up liking it more than Godzilla Minus One.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you.
Yeah.
First Godzilla movie, Godzilla, 1954. 1955, Godzilla raids again.
Nice.
Then the third Godzilla movie in 1963 is King Kong versus Godzilla.
Nice.
They just got to that
They got
straight
right
away.
there. Why
That makes me
fuck
so
around?
happy. Yeah.
You know what we all want to see. Yeah. Yeah. And and I will say this: it is both Godzilla Minus One and the OG Godzilla working in tandem to say this. I am open to seeing more Godzillas. I would consider myself interested now.
Nice.
This whetted my appetite. I understand. So, anyways,
but I feel like, I'm talking out of my ass here, and I don't know because I've only seen 2 Godzilla movies. I feel like Godzilla 2 probably doesn't hit the same way Godzilla 1 does,
No, because even Minus One didn't hit exactly the same. There were some beats that reminded me of the original where I was like, after seeing the original, I was like, okay, like Minus One, I see it as being a nice homage to the first one in some ways. But I was surprised, I guess, like, I don't know. It's, what it's like? It's like, again, it's like the original Halloween comparing it to any of its sequels, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's not going to hit the same, because I think what makes the first Godzilla so strong is that it was never intended to be part of anything. It was just its own. So, anyways, eventually, maybe one day we'll watch the one with Bryan Cranston in it, where he dies in the first 10 minutes.
I hear it's boring.
Yeah.
That's something to skip to Minus One real quick. All the American ones that have come out in the past 10 years, starting with the Bryan Cranston one, what I hear from everybody is those movies are 2.5 hours long. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes of people you don't care about being very boring, and then Godzilla shows up in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that part's cool, but the rest of it's boring.
Yeah.
Godzilla Minus One, a World War II Japanese kamikaze pilot who wimps out and doesn't do the kamikaze.
Yeah.
And then is ashamed when he comes back home to his just destroyed neighborhood.
Yeah.
Is looked down on by everybody. Comes into contact with a young woman who just happens to be taking care of a young child who is not hers.
Yeah.
And the two of them start a life together, and they kind of fall in love. And they had this kid that they're raising that's not really theirs.
Yeah.
And he gets a job on a boat with a bunch of other cool dudes, and he has to blow up bombs that are left over from the war. I'm watching that movie no matter what. Then you put a Godzilla in it.
Yeah.
Boo. Don't even
see,
start.
that's the thing is, like, if we're talking about this, could be a sloppy episode where we just kind of
I'm fine with that.
waffle back and forth. So with Minus One, I like all that stuff a lot.
Yeah.
But the thing I realized once watching the OG is that I don't feel Godzilla's presence or menace as much in Minus One.
Yeah, surprisingly.
You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He doesn't seem like it, I don't know why necessarily, but in the first one, like, as I'm watching it, that ship gets destroyed, and it's like big news in Japan. They're like, ship destroyed. Are there any like survivors and stuff? And there's, the coast with the folks, and one of them mentions Godzilla, and then, you kind of build up to that scene where you kind of see his head above the whatever, and it's like, I don't know, he just feels like genuinely mythic, and like you're like, oh my god, like, I don't know, it feels like watching an episode of the Twilight Zone or something like that. And perhaps the black and white helps. I'm sure it does. Like, that's something the first shot actually made me think of that, because the opening shot is of the water like ripples behind the boat, and I was watching that, I was like, already this is like ominous. But I was like, how much of that is the black and white though? Like, if this was in color, if this was in color, would this be as like ominous and foreboding? Probably not. Maybe, kind of. But yeah, you've got all the sailors, and they're like hanging out on the ship, and one of them's playing a guitar, and then they see like whatever off in the distance, and boat, blah 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 blah, whatever. But so Minus One, huge strength is, the Charlie Chaplin-ish situation this guy finds himself in.
Yeah.
Where he's just like a little tramp, and he somehow, he's like, I'm going to go get a job where we minesweep, and I'm going to make you guys a bunch of money, but you're not my wife, and that's not my daughter.
And if anyone asks, I'm going to get real mad about it.
Yeah, I'm going to act like Shinji from freaking
Yeah,
Neon Genesis.
exactly.
Yeah. But, so, yeah.
Also, so surprised with how, like, they're not the same movie, Minus One and 54.
Yeah.
But they go to the exact same locations, basically.
Yeah.
Just a dumb observation that I have.
Hey.
I think a big part about Minus One that doesn't work so well compared to 54.
Yeah.
Godzilla attacking in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
Just
doesn't
kind of
hit
lame.
the same.
Doesn't hit the same. At
Yeah.
the end of the original one, where you see him
Yeah.
in the middle of the night and those just cartoonishly large fires are going
Yeah.
over him, like this.
Yeah,
hits.
and so that's something, again, when you talk about, from at least my observation as an outsider, like that first Godzilla versus what I have seen of every other one is just like Power Rangers guy in a suit, middle of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not odd for Minus One to do it, but I personally, taste-wise, do think that nighttime Godzilla is a more ominous and threatening. So Godzilla Minus One of the first things is it opens with a Godzilla attack.
Yeah, almost immediately.
Yeah. And Godzilla, like, smushing folks with his, like, stepping on them and, like, with his tail and stuff. Looks great. I gotta be honest. I know he's entirely CGI, and I'm often against CGI.
Uh-huh.
But I do like him stomping people and chewing people up and stuff.
Yeah, I really like how he looks in Minus One. Like,
Yeah.
in the American ones that I've seen, like, parts that I've seen with the new Godzilla, he does look like a big dinosaur, like, weird dinosaur with man arms. And that's fine and that's cool, but I like in Minus One that he looks like a guy in a suit, kind of.
Yeah.
And he walks around kind of weird. It's great.
Yeah. I think I would have preferred if there were some blending of something physical with the CGI.
Yeah. I think there is one shot where they're, like, he's chasing them on the back of the boat and they're throwing bombs at him. There is, I think, one shot where it's like a practical Godzilla head that a bomb rolls into. And
Nice.
that looks really nice, but yeah, the rest
The
of
one where his head, there's a scene where his, like, head is, like, sliding into the water and his, like, face starts regenerating.
Yeah.
The CGI on that looked crazy. So good. And I bring that up with the smushing and all that kind of stuff because in OG Godzilla, when it's nighttime and a guy in a suit, whatever. It looks like a guy in a suit also, but at the same time,
It didn't look as bad as I thought it would.
yeah,
Like-
it really didn't.
When he's over that mountain and, like, it's obviously you can tell it's a version where it's a puppet on a guy's hand, he doesn't look great. But when he's a guy in a suit walking around, or when
Yeah.
he's, like, coming out of the water a little
Yeah.
bit, I think he looks great.
Yeah, but I was going to say also, like, even though it looks shittier, there is something about watching him, like, smash up the, like, model.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's also physical, so it's kind of satisfying in that sense. But I was also thinking, like, man, what a day! Like, if you're, you know what I mean? Like, if you're,
Yeah.
if that's your job, you're in the suit that day, and you get to do the smashing up.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
There is a shot that I like quite a bit around there where he's, like, smashing up the models.
Yeah,
A car, like, turns really quickly and, like, rolls over. And it's a real car, and it goes to turn and quickly cuts into a stop-motion toy car rolling over. It's
Yeah.
so good. I love
yeah.
it.
So, but also, in the beginning of the original Godzilla, when the ship's sinking and stuff, there's like a Dutch angle shot of like some scientists or whatever, like talking the radar, and there's like like the telegram sound and stuff like that. And just immediately, like right off rip, I was like, "This is fucking awesome! This is everything I want to
Yeah.
Godzilla movie."
Yeah.
I want to see a Dutch angle with people like trying to get in touch with the fucking sink that just the boat that just
Yeah.
sunk and the.
Like, all of that, and I was thinking about it when she goes to the eye patch guy's lab,
Yeah.
which, by the way,
Eye patch guy,
so cool.
so cool. That is
So
like,
cool.
as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Fuck you, Japan." Yeah,
Yeah, he's so good.
yeah.
But-
Snake Plissken, no science. It's fucking cool.
It's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
I love. I was the guys at the beginning in his lab. Both are in the same vein to me.
Yeah.
I love a 1950s black and white lab in a movie.
Yeah.
Where it's just so many beakers and sciencey things everywhere because like it's black and white, and how do you get a room to read as a laboratory?
Yeah.
It's like you just have to fill it with shit,
Yeah.
and I love it. It's
It
so
reminds me of one line from a movie I haven't seen, but Transylvania 65000, which is like a shitty, low budget horror comedy from the 80s that I'd love to watch one day because it has from The Fly. Jeff Goldblum. It has Jeff Goldblum. I think it has Gina Davis, if I'm not mistaken. It has Kramer from fucking Seinfeld. But Jeff Goldblum's like a writer on assignment, and he gets sent to write a story about like Frankenstein in Transylvania or something. But anyways, there's a scientist character or whatever, and I don't know why or whatever, but he's like, he's in his lab, and he just goes like, I don't care about lightning, I got all this other shit. So, yeah. Anyways, so there's that scene where, I guess it's much like Godzilla Minus One, but instead, the thing I like about Godzilla Minus One, I'll say this, is I also like that. I do really like that plot and the themes of like the government is at the point where they're like brainwashing us to think that kamikaze, to die for our country, is what we need to do. And so like fuck them, we're gonna kill the Godzilla by ourselves, working man. We're all gonna come together, blue collar style, and kill the Godzilla. And guess what? We're not gonna lose a single person doing it because nobody should have to die for it. Let's just
hell yeah,
it's cool. So, but what I'm trying to say is they have a similar scene to what Minus One has, where like just all of the important people get together and they're kind of just talking about what's going on. And there's the one gentleman who gets up there and he talks about like how like in the Himalayas they have found footprints that they believe to be like, they basically, he's talking about how like, there could be a Yeti out there. There could also be a Godzilla out there. It's like his argument in front of everybody. It's just pretty cool. Just want to bring that up.
The main science guy with the mustache. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, like white hair.
Yeah.
Balding, I think. Older guy.
He's like the main character for most of it, I feel.
No,
like.
not the guy with the cool hair.
Yeah,
and he has the bandage on his head.
Oh, okay.
Not that guy.
Yeah.
Some old guy that's like on the boat, I think, at the end.
Gotcha.
I don't know any names, I'm sorry.
Neither do I. But that guy, the guy I'm talking about, the main science man who doesn't want to kill Godzilla, is like the samurai from Seven Samurai.
Oh.
And I was like,
that's either that.
I was like, that's either that guy, or I'm a white guy looking at a bunch of Asian people from 1950. And then I looked it up. I'm not. I'm a guy who recognizes people.
Yeah. There's also a little shot of like what looked like the Vegas Strip almost, but it's just a shot of a Japanese city.
Mm-hmm.
There's all the freaking just twinkling man-made stars. It looked beautiful, and then they cut to like a fucking cruise where people are like dancing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this is what Morrissey was talking about. Just freaking. I want to see people and I want to see life. Like, you can't go for that these days. Like, where do you go for a tall drink of that?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Just a bunch of, 20-somethings dancing their gears away.
So funny. It's so funny to watching the original Godzilla and be like, this is what Morrissey was on about. Also, we before I was supposed to be recording it, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of this, you were talking about an apple, being the first person to find an apple, and be like, "What would you think if you saw something?" Yada yada. Yeah. I was feeling kind of the same way watching this and Minus One. About
like, what if I was the first guy to see Godzilla?
Just imagine being on a ship.
Yeah.
Like like I've been on boats before or whatever for an hour tops or whatever. Just imagine getting on a ship and then going out.
Yeah, I couldn't.
And like the idea of people finding other countries, like getting on a boat, that's fucked up. That's stupid. Why would you do that?
Exactly the length of time, but I remember watching like a YouTube short, and it was like a young guy who's like part of like maybe the British Navy, and he was talking about how like he's like a submariner or whatever, and they literally go down there for like 9 months at a time.
That's crazy.
Just 9 months. He's like, you lose your sense of day and night.
Yeah.
He's like, what he was talking about in the short were like little things you don't think about. Like he was like, when I come up after that 9 months, I've been breathing purified air, and the world fucking stinks after 9 months of doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just shit like that. And I was like, wow, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Ugh.
Yeah, couldn't imagine.
Also the bends. Ugh.
Yes. Since I was a kid, that's my version of like, you always hear people like rip the John Mulaney joke. I've heard some people make the joke of like, I thought quicksand would be so much bigger deal. I thought the bends would be something I'd genuinely... Like, I thought if I went to the bottom of a pool and came out too fast, I could give myself... Like, I've always been fucking horrified that the bends would happen to me. I'm never gonna get the fucking bends. It's never gonna happen.
Also, it's so funny. That's how they try to get Godzilla in -1 is they try to give him the bends. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But yeah, it's anytime I hear anything about somebody dying while being underwater, it's so scary.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so scary.
Well, that's what's so scary about that scene in the Mission Impossible movie we watched. Where he's like, coming up the whole time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. The
Slow down.
The bends. So anyways, to hop back to -1 for a second. We open with the Godzilla attack, right? Which is sweet. Honestly, probably my favorite use of Godzilla in the film. I can't think of another moment where I was like, fuck yeah, as much as that opening smash where he's crushing people and stuff.
For me, it's when he charges up his fire by the shit in his back popping out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so sick. And then when it happens in the
the
1950s, I stood up. I was like, yeah!
I was also floored because like I can't believe like it's like watching the first episode of Scooby-Doo Where Are You and being like they had it all figured out. Like they from day one they had it.
It's so funny, yeah.
But, so anyways, so he's a kamikaze pilot, and because he doesn't like, he gets blamed for everybody dying by that one dude.
Yeah.
The dude that he tracks down at the end of the movie to be the only other guy that can like help him.
Yeah, because he's the only other guy that survives because he doesn't shoot him with his gun.
Yeah. And so he goes home, like you mentioned. Everything's in, just rubble. And there's that old lady that's like, hey, you're a kamikaze pilot who didn't die out there. That means that you let this country down. Like, you're the reason why my kids are dead and stuff.
Also, I do like, before Godzilla shows up, when he lands his plane and everyone's just like, yeah, nothing seems to be wrong with your plane. And it's kind of just shot in a really convenient way where you're fine. Yeah, we don't know what's up with it. And everyone's just kind of like, we know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then that one guy comes up to him and goes, hey, man, I'm on your side. It's stupid.
I'd have done the same shit.
I would have done the same thing. And I like that it's just like, oh, I don't know if you can trust that guy. Because he goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, that guy might be trying to just get you to admit it. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah.
It's good.
Anyway, lady gives him shit.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, I'm just repeating what you said. But yeah, he bumps into that lady, and she's like homeless, and she has a child, but the child's not hers. And they just, thug it out. And that ends up being a really touching, I wouldn't even say subplot, but I guess it's a subplot technically. But yeah, that's like the heart of the movie for sure.
Yeah.
It's like just this family, watching this family come together. Like when he's telling his friends at the dinner that like, oh, she's not my wife. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like his friends are all like, fate brought you guys together. Like as far as like, how do you not see this picture? You're painted into a picture. We're looking at it. We're telling you what we see, and you're trying to tell me you're not in this picture. Like you're in this picture, buddy. And it made me kind of sad because I was like, oh, come on, she deserves a husband. Stop being not husband.
It also it does kind of suck, and it's kind of cliche. The fact that she gets blown away by Godzilla, and then you believe she's dead for the rest of the movie until the last second. They're like, oh, no, she's actually alive.
I'm glad, though.
That made me so happy.
When she got blown away, I was like, no way. Because honestly, again, not trying to be... But I was definitely like, well, what the fuck am I watching this movie for? If she's gone, movie's over for me.
That's so funny, yeah.
So anyways, yeah. She gets blown away by Godzilla. There's also that one fella who's like, that quirked up fella that's almost like a Japanese Mark Ruffalo. The gray-haired glasses guy.
Oh, yeah. I love the boys on the ship.
Yeah.
Because they're so, like, archetypal, and they, like, even when they go there, the sailor, the main guy goes, yeah, he's really smart, and he's a scientist, and this guy's super young, so I call him Doc, and I call him Kid. I'm like, that's perfect. That's so good. That's perfect.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park. Also, I cannot believe I've gotten this far in without saying it, but the fucking in -1, but I know in general this is his theme. Godzilla's
Oh my
theme.
god, I love that they used the original one. Oh, it's so good.
Godzilla's theme is so good.
Godzilla's theme is so good, and it got me in the original one. Godzilla's yell is so good. I don't know what that sound is or what they do to make it.
The bass line for it is like, it's a lot of things mixed together, I think, but like one of the most prominent noises is dragging a leather glove across like a stringed instrument, like a violin or something.
Ooh, I can see that. Yeah.
But I think there's some other stuff going on. Anyways, back to the OG for a moment. So, yes, The city cruise was the thing I was talking about. The city, the nightlife, the Morrissey. I can't remember exactly which character says it, but I wrote it down because it was hard as fuck. Someone refers to Godzilla as having, quote, he says, Godzilla was baptized in the fire of the H-bomb and survived.
So sick. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Crazy. So Eye Patch Scientist has been working on something in his lab, and I don't think he actually says what it is until kind of later.
Mm-hmm.
But he's basically like, he shows that girl at one point. He's like, check this out. And he's like, promise not to tell anybody? And she's like, okay,
I guess, yeah.
And then he fucking like vaporizes a fish in a fish tank. She's like, Jesus Christ!
So funny.
And she leaves, and then later on she comes back and she's like, I told this guy, this is our only hope against Godzilla. And yeah, I like
it's called the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes. Yeah, I can't believe there's not like, there's gotta be, but like a punk band or a metal band out there.
Oh yeah.
That, you know. Also, in the OG, heat breath, bitch. He just goes for it. He just does
So
the
good.
fucking, he's melting cars, and he even hits people with the fucking heat breath at one
Oh
point.
yeah.
He's going for it. And then I like that, like, I think it's a combination of them, like, shooting at him with planes and stuff, but that they literally scare him away at one point. He just, like, fucks off back into the ocean. He's like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, we scared him away. But anyways, going back, yeah, Eye Patch Lab. There's the main character scientist, then the lady. They scare Mr. Godzilla away. Godzilla man, lady?
I think they refer to him as he, usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's reports on the news that everybody's like, we gotta kill this Godzilla.
Yeah.
And our main guy is really upset by that, and he goes and he sits in his dinosaur room in the dark and doesn't want anyone to talk to him. And I liked that. I really liked that throughout the movie. He's just like, I'm a zoologist. I'm a scientist. We can't kill Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then someone presses on him later about it, and he's just like, but we could study him. Think about what we could learn from him if he was alive.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you don't care if Godzilla's alive. You just want to study him. That
Yeah.
sucks.
This movie also reminded me, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it reminds me a bit of, I think it's better. It's much better. It's definitely like leagues better, but not that the other movie's a bad movie, but this is just, you know. But The Creature from the Black Lagoon, it reminds me of that a bit.
Yeah.
It's just like, have you seen it before?
No. But
But
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, it's like scientists and they're rolling down the Black Lagoon and they happen to find the creature. But yeah, similar thing where there's just like a lot of like, you know, pseudo-sciencey talk of just like, but what if a creature had been, you know, able to like survive in this little area and like, you know, maybe we could capture them and stuff and, you know, check it out, learn a thing or two. And then he ends up like, you know, King Kong style falling in love with the pretty, you know, blonde lady, and
Classic.
he steals her away, and then the scientists have to like save her from the cave. You know, it's pretty bare bones, but the thing that's awesome about it is that suit. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, it was designed by that lady, and that guy took credit for many years, and now the lady gets the credit. I can't remember her name or his name, but it's designed by a lady.
It's good that you can't remember his name also.
Yeah, equal.
Yeah.
I don't treat anybody no different. So, anyways, yeah, heat breath, and then so this is one of the better parts of the movie, in my opinion, because again, like, I know one of the problems that I've heard about some of the sequels, the 35 sequels, is that like if you don't really care about the human subplot, then like, you know, you're not really invested in the rest of the movie. But yeah, that's one of the things that the first movie does well is, you know, Eye Patch Scientist creates Oxygen Destroyer, which is basically, again, like another, like a metaphor for the atomic bomb, right?
Yeah.
And he's basically like, no, I'm not going to use it on Godzilla. It shouldn't be used ever. I should never have invented it.
Which I like because, like you said, it's a metaphor for the atomic bomb. He goes, I'm not going to use it. It's just like the atomic bomb.
Yeah. When subtext is just text. But yeah. So that was cool, and I like his little breakdown, and then they have like that segue to like the Japanese schoolgirls singing in like a.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was like, what the? That was fucking great. And then it comes back, he's like, I'll do it, but I'm gonna burn all these papers first. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome. So we'll put a pin in that for one moment and go back over to Minus One. So recap on Minus One, we left off his wife's dead, right?
Yeah, Godzilla attacks the town.
He goes home They have like a little funeral for her.
Something I like about Godzilla attacking the town?
Huh.
That the original one, whatever. I mean, this didn't really come into play. But compared to all the other Godzilla movies, Godzilla and Godzilla Minus One is a reasonable height. Like, when you see him around buildings and stuff like that, I'm like,
-1,
I know how tall he is.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just like this, oh, he's really big. It's just like, no, I have a good sense of how big Godzilla is. I can imagine seeing that guy on the street.
Yeah.
Also, I love, there's the news reporters on the roof reporting about Godzilla.
Yeah.
While he's coming, I like that it's in both movies, but I like the original one so much more. I can't remember exactly what he says, but the guy in the original one goes, well,
he's like, this is it, folks.
Fine.
Here we go.
It seems like it's finally it. It seems like this is really it.
Yeah.
Good night. Thanks for listening or whatever. And then he dies. It's so good.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that clip of Bill O'Reilly where he's like, what the fuck? Doesn't say any fucking words.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. Yeah.
Dude, fuck it. We'll do it live. Hilarious. The third highest grossing Japanese film of 2023 and surpassing Shin Godzilla as the most successful Japanese Godzilla film. Anyways. So yeah, dinosaur-like creature, and that's something, go back to the original for just for a second, is like, they go into the science some of like, how like, there's some like they were able to do like samples from his like skin or something that it's from the Jurassic strata of the Earth or whatever, and that it's mixed with like a type of radiation that has only existed post the H-bombs. They can tell that it was basically like that he was created by like some mixture of like the Jurassic period and us using bombs.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to drop that before I forgot about it. But what's going on? So obliterates much of the district with heat ray. Godzilla does a bunch of heat ray, killing tens of thousands. Blah 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 blah. The people become kind of frustrated with the government's inaction because the government like largely absent from this film, just not there.
Mm-hmm.
So people take the matters in their own hands. So the plan is to destroy Godzilla by luring it into the bay before surrounding it with Freon tanks and rupturing them, sinking it to the bottom, and letting it the resulting water pressure crush it. Should the plan fail, balloons will be inflated under Godzilla and force it back up, killing it through explosive decompression.
Which is
awesome.
So awesome.
So
it's
good.
So sick.
Yeah. I actually really love that plan. I don't know how he's killed in most movies.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about the OG in a second. Fuck it. We'll talk about it right now. Why don't we just wrap it up? So, the last, 10 minutes of Godzilla, fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I also love that a movie about a giant monster that, destroys cities and, the heat beam and stuff like that, for the climax, it becomes, this, quiet, somber, just with two guys going down there and just whatever. It's not like a big climactic fight. It's just it's like shooting the one weakness in the Death Star or whatever. It's we're gonna go down there. We're gonna drop but it's got all this grandiosity around it just by how it's portrayed on film.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's just literally two guys going down there and here's poison, and then Godzilla dies, and that's it. Just
it's very slow.
Yeah. And a couple of things. One, there's the old guy on the boat who says the thing about it. He's like, Godzilla was 101, which is sad because that means we can't, learn anything about it. But also the fact that we're still out here dropping bombs, whatever, means that there could be more than one Godzilla. And then also the eye patch scientist, he basically kills himself at the bottom of the ocean, again tying back into our main theme, because he's just I, in my head, know what the oxygen destroyer is, and I need to die down here, or else, there's always going to be the chance that, so Godzilla film, staunchly anti-atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, shit. Great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd give it an A+, probably. I thought it was cool. Really cool. What would you give it?
I'd give it an A, yeah.
Yeah, give it an A? Okay. I'm going to write that down before I forget it. I always end up forgetting it. But yeah, the secret dies with him, And I was surprised.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I always rode the line of is this going to be as awesome as everybody says, or are they going to be pretty good?
It was really good, yeah. I really enjoyed it.
I was surprised. So anyways, yep. Yep. They kill blah 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 blah. Plans to kill Godzilla in a suicide attack by flying into its mouth and detonating explosive charges on board. You can fill in if you'd like some stuff here.
Yes, they all make a big plan to sink Godzilla and then bring him back up real fast.
Yeah.
And, they assume one of those is going to kill him, and it doesn't work. He's just like, I'm going to bring the boats down. And they go, no, bring him back up. He's like, I ain't coming up. And they're like, well, fuck, what do we do? And he's got this new backwards plane that the military's been working on in secret. And he's like, I'm going to kamikaze this bad boy right into it. And the guy who hates him was like, you should be dead as a kamikaze. I don't like you. He's just like... I put an injector seat in it so you can get there.
But you don't know that then, do you?
You don't know it until the very end. And just like his wife being alive at the end, it's such a cheap cop-out, but I loved it. I was just like, yeah, we did it.
I will, I will say this. If she died, I would prefer that he died there.
Yes.
But since she lived and that he lived and they get to all live happily ever after. Yep. And the theme of them being like, hey, us working men are going to do it, and we're not going to lose a single man. Him not dying ties better into that, so I think that makes it more complete. And that's a big thumbs up.
Yeah,
for me. Yeah, and honestly, talking about it side to side with OG Godzilla, I give it a thumbs up even more than I'm appreciating it more as we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that though, right? Or are we just cutting right to the chase?
Do you have more to talk about?
I don't know, man. I feel like we've been talking for like 20 minutes.
We've been talking for 41.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're generally happy with the length of what we've done here?
Oh, we can keep talking about Godzilla. What I liked about Godzilla 1 and Godzilla Minus One.
Yeah.
Is like I said, like we've been saying this whole time. The whole kamikaze pilot and his found family, love it. The whole eye patch scientist sacrificing himself to not be like Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
But both of them at the same time, whenever I see Godzilla, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big lizard.
Yeah.
And then when he's like blowing stuff up and his back's lighting up or whatever, I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like I become 9 years old.
Yeah.
And they're both so well done in both respects.
Sure.
Like, I'm pretty sure for what it is, Godzilla Minus One has a pretty small budget, and they used it very sparingly, very wisely.
10 to 15 for this
to make Godzilla look this good.
It's
and he just looks great. He like I said, he moves like a guy in a suit, which is great.
Yeah.
But also his face is just like the right shape. Like it's shaped like a silly Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I just love him. I think he looks great. New one's coming out soon. I think Godzilla
Minus Zero.
Yeah. And he's big and he's in America, and so I'm like, I don't know, but
I really must say, again, them making this for about 10 to 15 million is fucking insane.
It's nuts, yeah.
Insane. So yeah, I would honestly give Minus Zero like an A.
I'd give it a B+.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I was going to give it a B initially, but I jumped it up to A.
I was going to give it an A, and I bumped it down to a B because I liked the first one so much, I think. But
you know what? I'll meet you at B+ then.
Okay. I'm going to call it a B+.
Yeah, I'll meet you at B+. So yeah, I just didn't want to be too harsh on it, like a recency biased in a negative way. So I was like, I'll bump it up a bit. But if you're only going B+, I'll beat you at B+, because that gives it a good. But anyways, whatever. So good.
I also watched Godzilla Minus One Minus Color, which is this movie in black and white. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I usually don't love
better.
The same.
The same.
But
doesn't
it just
add anything.
It adds a little bit to it. Like you were saying at the beginning, the black and white does make it more ominous. And the sound isn't worse, but it sounds different. It sounds more like an old movie.
So did you watch it twice, or did you just watch it in the black and white?
I watched it in color, and then I watched some of it in black and white, like immediately after it. I just skipped around and watched scenes and stuff like that.
You read it, or you would listen to the dub, or
when I watched the original in color, I did I read it, and then when I watched the black and white one, I turned the English dub on, and I feel like that completed the whole thing, and I liked it quite a bit.
I did the same thing where when I watched it one time with the sub, one time with the dub. So,
and where was I going with that? I don't know. Do you remember Godzilla from the 2000s, like the early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, I remember the
Inspector
like
Gadget's in
seeing the freaking what a fucking God, I can see his face, Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, Inspector Gadget, Matthew.
Yeah, I keep wanting
Matthew
Broderick.
Broderick, yes.
I kept wanting to say Anthony Bourdain, but yeah.
There was a soundtrack for that movie that had Green Day on it.
Yeah.
I just thought about it while we were talking about this. I want to show you.
Did they make a song specifically for it? Is that?
It's just brain stew, but there's Godzilla sounds in the background. It's so funny.
Really funny.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
So, have you given any thought into what you want to watch next at all?
Ooh, I was thinking about it earlier, and I had a movie in mind, and I totally forgot what it was.
Yeah. I've got a couple in mind, but I feel like I've forgotten.
Ooh.
At the same time, a couple.
Is there a movie about amnesia we can watch?
Memento.
We can watch Memento.
No, but one I've been wanting to watch for a while is Star Wars Episode 1.
Ooh, the prequel?
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah. But I also want to watch something. Here's actually, this was the thought. I had the thought of, you know me, I love scary movies.
You sure do.
I'm always looking to get my tits scared off.
Mm-hmm.
My tits are almost never scared off.
True.
With this idea, I don't expect my tits to get scared off, but I wanted to perhaps from time to time, and we'll call it this when we do. It doesn't have to be all the time, but it'd be cool to occasionally check in with movies that scared the tits off of Chris when he was a kid, and perhaps you can pick a couple as well.
Ooh, okay.
So if that has any interest in you, there was one film with John Cusack, I think, in it that scared the tits off me when I was a kid, called White Noise.
Okay.
You gonna look it up?
I am.
Fucking Wrong Turn. I don't know if you know Wrong Turn.
Sounds familiar?
It is a very bad film about like inbred serial killing family in like West Virginia, where people obviously take a wrong turn and they end up getting murdered by incest monsters.
Okay.
But when I was a kid, it scared the shit out of me.
Okay. This looks
Looking at White Noise?
No, I'm looking at Wrong Turn. The poster is pretty funny.
You stopped looking at White Noise?
I just try to immediately look up what you were saying.
Oh, okay. Look up White Noise. Or maybe it's Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, it's probably Michael Keaton. So,
I'm reading a Reddit post about a guy who's like, I remember the movie White Noise starring Kevin Bacon, but Mandela Effect turns out it was Michael Keaton.
What's it got? Like, what's the scores look like for White Noise?
Hold on. I gotta look up the correct one.
You know what scared the tits off of me when I was a kid also?
What's that?
Sixth Sense.
I didn't see it until I was an adult man. White Noise has 5.5 stars on IMDb.
Did it scare the tits off you when you saw Sixth Sense as a man?
No.
It didn't scare you at all?
No, not that I remember.
What about that little scene where that kid's got that like little safe place where he's got all the crosses and stuff where like the ghost can't get to him?
I don't remember.
And then like many scenes later it pays off by like one of the ghosts actually knocking it down on him, so you're just like, oh Jesus, I thought he was safe in there, I thought he was fucking safe in there, it was crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Oh yeah. No,
maybe I was a young man. I was a young man when I saw it, but I wasn't a child.
Yeah.
I'm an old man now.
So what were your ideas? I can't remember. You lost some ideas.
I didn't have any ideas.
You said you had one earlier. I thought maybe you could jog it up.
I can't. It's right there. It's
right there.
It's in the back of my mind, and I just can't. I just can't get there. I can think of it and maybe tell it to you later, but I do like the sound of episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You thinking about locking that one in?
Yeah. If I can think of my other one, I'll text you.
Okay.
But for right now, I'll lock in your idea.
I kind of want to perhaps. I think I want to pick. Oh, Nelly. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I want. Well, here's an idea that we can bring back from the past. Doesn't have to be right now. But also, I wanted to do Poltergeist and Amityville Horror.
Ooh. 2
spooky haunted houses
together.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about, why can't I ever watch a normal movie? But The Descent. You ever heard of The Descent?
Where they're in the cave.
Have you seen it before?
I know of it.
I've never seen it, but this is one that I plan to hopefully watch, like maybe late at night, dark, no phone, just like, because I've heard this is a scare your tits off movie.
Yeah.
And I kind of want my tits scared off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, it's British.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Hell yeah.
But if we're doing, so you're locking on episode 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Pause this for one moment. I've changed my mind. I've had an epiphany.
Okay.
We're watching episode 1, Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to watch Return to Oz, the 1980s sequel to
Ooh, okay.
Wizard of Oz.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something I do want to watch soon.
What's that?
Which, again, we'll say this and then we'll never think about it again in our entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to watch Ed Wood's Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was going to do. And then I was like, wait a second. Return to Oz. Because I just saw my sister put on Wizard of Oz play at the school she works at.
How was it?
It was good.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah. Good job, Danielle. All right, well, you got anything else movie-related? Or have we exhausted all the movie discussion to be had for this week?
I think maybe I was thinking of School of Rock. Is that what I was going to pick? No.
Yeah, well.
Couldn't have been.
Next time.
I was thinking of School of Rock, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was a just to pay the bills job with Linklater, didn't you?
Is that a Linklater movie?
He directed it, yeah.
I did not know that.
Just to make some money from Boyhood, I think. I think he wanted to make some money to do
Good
Boyhood.
for him.
Yeah. Crazy to think, huh? That it's a Linklater film, yeah.
Didn't he do like a Glenn Powell movie recently?
Who is Glenn Powell?
He's a handsome actor.
Okay. I think I hear that sometimes and I'm like, are they talking about Glenn Ross?
Mm-mm. Yeah, directed by Richard Linklater. Goddamn.
Yeah.
No, he was I want to say he was in like the new Top Gun or something like that, but I literally know nothing about Glenn Powell except that he's a famous handsome actor currently. He was in the new what movie with the one Edgar Wright movie, The Running Man.
The Running Man.
Yeah, Edgar Wright just put out a Running Man movie. He was in Top Gun Maverick. He was in Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney. He was in Hitman, directed by Richard Linklater. He was in Twisters.
What was that movie, 12 Miles or something? The Stephen King adaptation?
No idea.
The Longest Mile or something? They had like a special thing where like some movies theaters were showing it where like you had to walk on a treadmill for the whole duration of the film.
That's fun.
Because I think the concept is basically like Hunger Games, but instead of killing each other, you guys have to walk, and like the last one walking wins the like lifetime supply of money.
Okay. Did someone win?
Huh?
Did it happen yet?
This is the movie.
Yeah, but did they do the thing in real life where you have to walk on a treadmill?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Sorry, you know what? You got me. I was half listening to you, and I was just like, "Oh, the people in the theater are walking, and they're gonna win a prize."
Oh, it's crazy how many things are Stephen King, though. You know.
Yeah, that dude be writing.
You know, whether it be Stand on Me or not Stand on Me. I just fuck it up every time. I'm like, you know, or the yeah. I can't do another one. I'm sorry.
Sit down over there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's The Green Mile, and there's Shawshank Redemption, and The Shining.
Glenn Powell was also Fox McCloud in the new Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Oh, Cujo, Silver Bullet, It, and what was this one called?
Godzilla?
Walk Forever.
Oh,
The Walk. You didn't look it up?
I did. I looked it up, and it was just like some very Republican-looking movie, whatever you said. The Longest Mile.
Yeah, is that what it is? Why is it so Republican looking?
Because the poster I'm seeing here is just a man in
What year did this come out?
army fatigues, returning to a suburban place. And it says Steve Panazzi's at the bottom of it, so I don't think it's Stephen King.
Did it come out in 2025?
No.
Yeah, then it wasn't that movie.
Came out in it's a short film that came out in 2012.
2025.
And also 2021 somehow.
Stephen King film about walking. The Long Walk.
Oh.
The Long Walk.
I've heard of The Long Walk.
Yeah. That poster's fucking dog shit. It says Walk or Die at the top.
That's awful, yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. I have this movie over there called, I think it's called Zombie Strippers.
Okay.
It'd be a fun thing to watch one day, perhaps. Also, The Toxic Avenger, but the original Trauma film would be really interesting to watch. So, that's, is that?
Well, yeah, I think so. I'm out of stuff.
Yeah, out of stuff. Tank's empty. All right, that's that. Mattress Men.
If you need more soup, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to our website, eatingsoupalone.com. And until next time,